Why are so many dogs suffering from health issues? Actress Katherine Heigl, who's helped save over 16,000 dogs through her foundation, says she's seeing more issues with dogs' joints, odors, and health than ever before. And after doing a ton of research, she feels there's one place we can look to support any dog's health: their food. So she decided to create something she could actually feel good about feeding her dogs. It's called Superfood Complete. Superfood Complete is made with over 30 of the healthiest ingredients on the planet, including several superfoods vital to your dog's health. Badlands Ranch also sponsors the Jason Debus Heigl Foundation, which has helped rescue thousands of dogs and place them in loving homes. Dogs across America are trying this food and experiencing amazing health benefits. Go to badlandsranch.com/save50 and order right now to get up to 50% off your regular price order with a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you want your dog to experience all these incredible things, go to badlandsranch.com/save50 today.
In the early morning hours of 1974, a small farming community in Langenburg, Saskatchewan, became the unexpected focal point of a UFO encounter that would leave lasting impressions both on the land and in the minds of its witnesses. Edwin Fuhr, a local farmer, was going about his morning routine when he stumbled upon a sight that defied explanation. 5 metallic saucer-shaped objects hovering just above his field. As Fuhr watched in disbelief, the mysterious crafts performed a silent ballet over his swaying crops before ascending rapidly into the clear Canadian sky, leaving behind circular impressions in his field. These physical traces, meticulously documented by authorities and UFO researchers, added a tangible weight to Fuhr's claims and fueled speculation and investigation for decades. This case file, join the theorists as we plow through the tale and peer across the prairie skies, uncovering the mystery of that harvest morning in the Langenberg UFO encounter.
Welcome to Alien Theorists Theorizing Case File 329, the Langenberg UFO incident. I'm Braden.
I'm Zell.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Andrew.
Woo! Welcome back.
ATT
on the sauce tonight.
UFO crew's back in business.
We're talking UFOs. Zell summed it up. John snowed it, and he's like, I know exactly. I don't even have to. I'm such a subject matter expert now. Let me tell you what happened. Guy seen some shit. Reporter came, talked. Guy said he saw. They leave.
Trustworthy guy.
Trustworthy guy.
Salt of the earth, blue collar.
Unsolved. Case closed.
Unsolved 60 years later.
No, this is a good Canadian one, man. In Saskatchewan.
These are the most believable are the Canadian cases. Scott.
Well, listen, you got to know a few Sasky boys. I don't know a Sasky boy that I don't trust with my life.
100%.
They're the best. Fucking salt of the earth. Great people.
And they'll beat the shit out of you for nothing also.
The only thing I will say,
probably deserve it.
Through my time traveling through the southern Saskatchewan on my 90-day work tour.
The vast, untapped southern Saskatchewan wilderness.
Yeah. The only thing I'm going to say is, listen, lovely people. Everyone's super friendly. Not a lot of straight eyes, if you know what I'm saying. A lot of blue eyes. One blew this way, one blew that way. Everywhere. Honest to God. At one point, I had to turn to my partner and be like, yo, buddy, what is going on here? Have you noticed that nobody has normal eyes? Like, is it the water? What's going on here? Why is everybody got a lazy eye?
No, it's evolution because it's a prairie, so you can see across the whole prairies, right? It's just like,
Your eyes, if you're, that's how you know the Earth isn't flat. Because if that was true and you lived that, your eyes would naturally separate to get better field of view, like in Saskatchewan, where it is flat.
So they've evolved a wider field of view. Is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Their eyes,
Like
their
horses
eyes
or
have
deer,
gone
it's
for.
on the side. Yeah.
They're slowly turning into prey.
The next step is migrate to the side of their head.
Because I swear to God, you go there and it was shocking. I was in Estevan and Frontier, and I think Frontier's in Manitoba, but Estevan, and I was like, holy! I was like, every single person in the hotel that worked there had a lazy eye. So one way or another. And I listen, nothing wrong with a lazy eye. I'm not making some of the coolest people. Shawn Michaels, lazy eye, right? It's all good. I'm just saying, when you see a lot of them all together, you're like, okay.
Now, did he always have a lazy eye?
No, he said he got hit in the head, and then it just slowly started to wander into his skull.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? Like that's Fuck it. That guy aged hard.
Oh yeah,
like
dude.
hard.
He was like heartthrob, and now you look at
what I mean.
like
he walks out now, and you hear it's like "sexy boy, sexy." And you're like, oh my god,
yeah,
no,
like,
not anymore.
Change the theme song.
It, dude.
Is this a joke?
It's just. I mean, not that we've.
You know who he looks like
but
now?
we were
Cody
always
Evans.
Ugly. we were always ugly, so it's not a big deal.
We didn't call ourselves the Heartbreaks, you know.
Yeah.
Heartbreak Kids.
We didn't call ourselves that.
No,
we're not fooling anyone.
No.
Anyways,
but when we're
talking
to
Saskatchewan
about this,
for a little UFO.
Yeah. And
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan. Don't you guys call it Saskatchewan?
Sometimes I do. Saskatchewan.
Do other people call it that? Or
I think Americans call it Saskatchewan because they get Saskatoon and Saskatchewan and they just blend them together because that's how good at geography you are.
Yeah. That's why that's how much we care about Canadian geography.
Well, I was going to say, if it's not in America, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
If it's not Toronto or Vancouver, like we don't need to know where it is. Like it doesn't really matter. So this case takes us back to 1974, September 1st in Langenberg, Saskatchewan. Around 10:30 a.m., one Edwin Fuhr
who I pulled up a picture of him. He might have a
what's the eye situation?
He might be wide.
A little lazy. Might be a little lazy.
It's hard to tell for sure. Hold on, let me pull up a picture of him, and you'd be like, "I don't know." Oh, hold on, why did it open this up?
Doesn't he got like the dark glasses on though? Like he's wearing those like straight up very 70s like those those glasses. Because they have a couple of interviews with this guy, and like this, it's almost like he's wearing like the same outfit like today. That he was wearing back then,
you're like, listen, if they're not slightly lazy, the eyesight's questionable. Those are some pretty magnified eyes.
But those are corrective lenses for sure.
He's looking at that cat eyes there.
So he had gone out that morning to go ahead and take care. They were going to start swathing the fields when he's riding along his big old combine, harvesting up all this the grass up in the field.
And that's not like that big like fucking tiller thing, right? Like,
I thought he was doing something with like canola oil or some shit.
That's like, what it's a canola field. So it's like
so that's what it,
But what did it used to be called? Grapeseed?
Rapeseed oil?
Yeah.
Rapeseed.
Yeah.
I think they still call it that in the UK. Rapeseed oil.
Yeah, and they changed it to canola because they're like, hey, listen.
It's a little less aggressive.
Yeah. The press is going to go wild.
Marketing was a little difficult.
Rebrand.
At some point,
usually in the UK, they got like fancier ways of saying things. Like you look at, what do they call eggplant again? Croquette or something like that?
They also have towns called like fucking. Right? It's like you're all over the place, right?
So he's in his big old thresher, the big old combine riding around in this thing, and then he's saying that when he pulled up to there is one section of the field where there was a slough, and I had to look this up because I was like, how do you spell it? Like, how do you spell slough? Which is spelled SLOUGH, which for me is slough, which slough means like to
like come off, like, you know, like a snake sloughs off the skin. Yeah. But
how do you spell that kind of slough?
That's the same. It's the same. You spell it the same. Yeah. But this one is, I guess you pronounce it slough, and then a slough is like, it's kind of like just like a big mud puddle, I guess, or like just a stagnant body of water. Shallow
the
body
old
of
fucking watering hole for Edwin. Listen, he's been swathing since fucking daybreak, 4:30 a.m. right? Farm, right? All he's had is an egg.
If you get in early, if you start drinking that water early when you're like a kid, it's fine. You get used to it.
Yeah. Just mineral water. Maybe it's mineral water.
A little extra.
When I picture Edwin in my head, I picture him stopping at this time. And do you remember that fucking scene from Napoleon Dynamite where they're working at the like chicken coop, and it just pans to the one guy who's just standing there. He's like, "Well, it's gone over the head," and then he just shoves a full egg into his mouth, and they're like, "Ugh." I was like, that's what I picture Edwin like in this scenario. Like he's just drinking a full glass of warm ass raw milk, and then he shoves a full entire hard-boiled egg in his mouth, and he's like, "Ooh, excellent break."
Yeah, but he comes up on this slough, and he has to stop his vehicle because he sees what looks like 5 saucer-shaped objects on the edge of this little slough, this little body of water. So they're just kind of sitting there, and at the time, he wasn't really sure what he was looking at. He thought originally, like, he had been hearing about Americans coming up and having like goose blinds, like they had been out there hunting geese, and then he was thinking that these were someone had set them up there.
And that's not uncommon. Like people set up like on the edges of like farmers' fields or stuff near bodies of water, call these things in, and then fucking blast them. Have you ever eaten a Canadian goose though? Like fucking.
I've never eaten one.
I don't know, man.
I didn't even know you could eat. I thought they're protected.
No, you can't. No, they're not.
I thought
they're not
protected.
They're fucking vermin.
They're invasive.
They're an infestation.
Oh, maybe in my area. I don't know. It's like,
we're like, kill them all.
Get rid of them.
It's us or them.
Quick story about
kangaroos.
Quick story about Canada geese locally. We didn't really have geese here before. They weren't migratory to the region. Then we brought them in for tourism because all the tourists need to see the Canada geese. And it doesn't really get cold enough here. So they never migrate out of here. They just fly around the valley all winter long, shitting on everything.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
You can't even swim in the water.
Mistake.
And they're fucking mean.
They are fucking mean, man.
So it's like the Jurassic Park of like Canada. Canada geese.
They chase people all the time.
Oh yeah, they're fucking mean, dude.
Never thought if you should. Just thought if you could.
It's one of those things like, that's I imagine he's seen stuff like that before, so that's what his mind jumps to. He's like, are those fucking? He's probably like, oh, are these boys hunting honkers? Hey boys, you're not gonna get any honkers. Oh, it is part.
You think that's why they're reintroducing the grizzly bears to get rid of the geese?
Yeah. We need some. We got to fight fire with fire.
Heavy guns. Fight fire with fire.
There's only one. There's only one person for the job.
If we bring in enough grizzly bears, we'll take care of the geese. Yeah. What do we do about the grizzly bears? The winter will come up. That's not how it works.
That's our kids' problem.
Yeah, next generation's problem.
That's a tomorrow me problem.
That's like
right now. They're the goose's problem.
Humans are the worst with that. Bringing in species. They're like, we should bring this here. Oh, that fucked it up. We should bring in this one to take care of that one. And then he made it worse, even worse.
Look, you know what we should do? We should outnumber the grizzlies 10-1 with wolves. That'll care.
And then it's like, we'll just genetically engineer dinosaurs to take care of the bears. Like, oh yeah.
Dude, honestly, that's where we're getting a pair of fucking. We don't have grizzlies on Vancouver Island, and a mom just gave birth to cubs on Vancouver Island.
I read that. They're
like
coming.
They're like, the issue with that is if she gave birth here, those two are probably going to be local grizzlies because they're not going to swim back because they're too young. So they're going to grow up here, and they're like, it's pretty easy living for grizzlies on the island, and you can't shoot them anymore. So it begins.
Well, it's just the super pigs will take care of the bears.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It's getting crazy out there. We got too many wild animals going on here. We got to call them all.
We just got to now. Next is dinosaurs. All right, bring them back already.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we thought World War III was going to be between people and nations.
Beasts.
No, it's Beast Wars, baby.
So as he decides to exit his vehicle and kind of take a closer look at what he seems to be seeing, and then when he gets off, the swather,
you boys want some hard-boiled eggs?
He said he stopped about like 15 feet away from these things, and he's kind of looking at them, and he's saying that they immediately, like, he could tell that these weren't any type of goose blinds that he's ever seen. They didn't look anything like he would expect them to, because they seem to be rotating. Like, once he got out, he could see that these things were actually, like, they seem to be just floating off of the ground, like a couple feet, like a foot at least. And then they were just like rotating. Every single one of them seemed to be rotating just like on an axis, and just like
when I read this, I like to think that at every point he thought this was goose blinds, like at every point until like right at the end where he's like, oh God, hovering, rotating honker blinds.
One of them high tech. It's one of them gee whiz.
That's great. He's trying to like make contact, and it just takes forever until he's just like, wait a minute.
He's got, in his interviews, he's got a great accent. He always says gee whiz, like gee whiz is his thing.
Gee whiz.
Yeah. That's what he's always.
I mean, like, listen, you can't blame the guy. He's fucking visually impaired. We already discussed this. Right? Like,
he's sitting there. He's like, whoa, look at these things. He's like, was there really 4 of them, or was there 2?
Were they really spinning?
Which way is his impairment? Which way has evolution helped him?
And the way he could kind of tell that these things were spinning was that he said like there seemed to be like either something like rivets or some kind of like indentations kind of out from the surface of these things, which seemed to be made of. He said it looked almost exactly or very similar to like polished stainless steel or like polished aluminum is what the surface seemed to be made out of, and then it was studded by these little like rises or whatever. He compared them to rivets, but he was saying that these things were spinning, and he could tell like they just like it was going around and
so
around
it has
and
some
around.
sort of marks enabled, like it's not just a complete smooth.
No, it's not like a
polished
smooth
thing, so you can see, even cross-eyed individual can tell the thing is spinning.
So he's entranced by these things. Like, he's standing there. He said he estimated for around like 15 minutes, just like staring at these things, having no idea like and he didn't want to go any closer because he comments in his interviews, he was saying like he kind of just had this instinct to kind of just like, I don't want to get any closer to these things. I don't know what they are. Like, I have no clue. But at least like all he can do is just kind of stand there and look at.
He doesn't know.
Yeah. Pose a serious threat of geese. But then he so as he watches these things hover, he decides to kind of back up into his harvester at some point. Like, there's not much that he can do, or he feels that he can do, but he's like, at least like I can back up and get back into my vehicle and haul ass out of there.
Yeah, right. He was going to we've all seen horror movies. He was going to mow him down. It's like, if those are good for anything, it's for fucking straight murder. Harvesting canola and murdering. So that's what he was. 100%. I was like, that was his first. He's like, I'm going to run this thing down.
So as he backs up and gets into his harvester, he recalls that he had left it running. Like, he had left it running. And then when he got back into it, he noticed that the thing was actually turned off. And
what? That never happens.
Are they?
What are you talking about?
That's what he said.
Back on.
Are
that's the question.
You saying that this possible craft somehow interfered with his vehicle?
Well, he's saying that
Is that what you're trying to tell me, Dan?
He was trying to say that when he got into the vehicle, that the key was turned to ignition. Like, it was turned on, but it's like, and when he went to go back to start it again, because he remember getting out and it was running still, he gets back in, it's turned off. And then he goes to try and start it again, and it can't start.
Dead. Drained of power.
Yeah, so it's some type of like defensive EMP camouflaging technology that can fuck with everything around it.
We've theorized before that they actually just drain energy from everything.
Yeah, it just sucks it
from everything.
Right? Like all around when they're around.
Well, I wonder, like, let's say you've never seen this. It's a combine, right? Like, what's he driving? Slaughter machine. Combine.
Swather.
Combine? Yeah,
I think it's a combine.
That's what it looks like. Yeah,
It's intimidating.
100%
assume that thing's a threat.
Well, it's
Huge.
rotating,
1,000%.
coming at you. It's humongous. It's
terrifying.
loud.
Right? So if they have anything on their ship that can, fucking other than like blowing the thing up, like I'm not talking about like photon blasting this fucking thing, but like just like, shutting off the power, I think they would.
Are these and this is a question I know none of you are going to know, but what I'm thinking in my head is like farm equipment, like big farm equipment, like carbines and stuff. Is it diesel or is it are they
Carbine?
gas?
Did you say carbine?
What's a like carbine, like a gun?
A gun?
No, a combine. I meant.
Oh, diesel?
Like are they diesel or are they gas powered?
Diesel.
They would be diesel for sure.
So then, yeah. So like, I was just thinking in my head because I'm like, if it's diesel, everyone knows. Well, I don't really know, but I've heard the coils. So you just leave it running.
Yeah, the glow plugs.
The glow plugs. That's what it is. Yeah, glow plugs. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you got to leave running because the glow plugs.
You got to heat them up. You heat them up before you start it.
Yeah,
And listen.
you don't turn it over all the way.
Yeah.
You gotta wait.
Yeah, you got to give it a second.
Yeah, the
for
little thing
plugs.
lights up on the dash.
Yeah.
5-10 seconds.
And then you fucking
and then you fire.
And then everyone knows if you run a diesel, you just leave her idle all day.
All day.
You're a trucker.
All day just
you
going.
park to go to sleep. Leave the air conditioner running all fucking night, man.
Yeah.
They can idle forever.
Yeah. So I can imagine that it's a little shocking when you're like, because I wasn't sure, but if we're all in agreement that it's diesel, then 100% you leave that thing running all fucking day.
Yeah.
It's
You wouldn't
and it's
have
not
turned
like
it off. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
He's
not
like-
like you leave it. You're like, well, you know what? I'm going to leave myself just enough diesel to swath half this field.
Well, and it's fucking 1974. Gas, diesel, especially, it's probably like fucking 2 cents a gallon.
Oh, it's
They
probably
were probably
leaded
paying
too.
him.
It was like dirt
yeah,
cheap.
oh, it's marked. Yeah, it's marked gas. Like it's fucking
they were
nothing.
paying him to come and collect it.
Yeah.
We got too much of this diesel.
But yeah, as he tries to start the vehicle or restart it, he says that the craft just shot up out of sight, like they raised up off the ground and then gone. Like these things took off into the air, just like they're just gone like that, is what he says. Like just clapping his hands. And once the craft were gone, like out of sight, he said the combine started right up, like as he got it going. Now, after this, like you saying, like after he got these things left, like he went over to actually kind of check to see if there was anything left, like any kind of evidence that these things were there. And as he went over there, he said that the grass at the center of the, like where these craft, like each one was, like the grass surrounding it had been flattened in a clockwise circle, of which he remembered that. But he remembered that these craft had seemed to be rotating like in a counterclockwise circle. So he wasn't really sure like what was going on, because he's like, if they're turning one direction, but all of the grass is turned other ways, like it's some kind of, he's like, I don't know how I can do that.
So they never actually like landed.
No, they're
So it's not like an imprint. It's like
no.
Okay.
Well, one of the things I had read that is when he came upon these things and he looked, when he first noticed that they were hovering, he said the canola or whatever the fuck they're called, he could see like the wind blowing them around in like a circle. And that's what kind of was like, oh, they're fucking, it's that in the air? It's in the air. But then I kind of wondered in my head of when he's saying that they were spinning in the opposite direction, I wonder if it was one, like, is there a chance that there was like an optical, those optical illusions, like which way is the ballerina spinning?
Right.
And then you're like, oh, right. And then you're like, or left. I don't know anymore. Like I can't, my brain, especially if you're cross-eyed, right? Or your eyes are too far apart, might be really fucking hard.
We talked about this being a genetic advantage, right?
Yeah. But do those, I don't know if those kind of puzzles are more affected by people with lazy eyes. Like do they're like, I can't tell at all which way this is going. Is the horse coming or going? I can't tell.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I
I don't
he's
know
good at
how
those fucking pictures where you just stare at them long enough and then you see this shit's the sailboat.
yeah, he's like sailboat, horse, dragon.
Doesn't have to cross his eyes.
He's like, these paintings are great.
Now this circle, is there any I read circle and just instantly get a crop circle. Freddie Silva and
fused
clockwise nodes. They weren't blown to the ground, they were melted sideways from the energy of the craft.
Yeah, because this is right around the time, like 1974 is like, this is still around the time that, let's see, when did the first crop circle, I think is like 1966 or first one that like it recorded or considered like the first one, I think it was 66 in Australia.
This is
Tully, Australia.
This is the same time as like Falcon Lake too, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Crop
So
circle.
Falcon Lake's pretty close.
The term
too.
crop circle was coined in the 80s, but before that, when 68, the Mowing Devil,
68.
we talked about that one before.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then, 32. So they've been around for a while, but it wasn't until the 80s they were called crop circles. And then the hoaxers, if you want to call them that.
Those are 91.
That's
They came
91,
out
Doug and Dave.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Those
those are like,
historical.
Doug and Dave somehow making 45 different circles in the same night all across England, all by themselves. Amazing.
Well, I mean,
They're the best.
Think about how many fucking people Santa delivers presents to in a night. Like, it's
Fucking magic.
It's doable. It's an accomplishment. Scott Calvin can do it. These guys can do it.
So Fuhr remembers these craft had been like kind of floating around. Like, I guess they circled the front of the slough. Like, they were just kind of like, they were positioned like just on the edge of like where the water was kind of at.
You know what? Sorry, I just have to interject because you said Scott Calvin, and then I was thinking the Santa Claus. You know what fucking really bugged me about that movie? You know what really grinds my gears?
What?
Yeah,
I watched that. I watched that not too like last Christmas, and I was the whole time I was thinking all the fucking parents are like Santa's not real. He fucking brings gifts.
Yeah,
can they not see the fucking gifts?
Totally.
What do the parents think is happening here in this world?
You know what's a little bit worse than that though? And I noticed this the last time I watched it, and I watch it frequently, Christmases. Remember when he first gets to the North Pole?
Yeah.
And then he gets in his room, and he's in his PJs, and he's talking to that little elf, and she makes him that special cocoa.
Yeah.
Some fucking aggressive flirting going on.
Oh yeah. Oh,
like aggressive.
Yeah. Yes.
Like really uncomfortable.
Dude, Tim Allen is living up to his name in that.
Yeah, dude. Like that's like,
Jesus,
no.
like you're like, whoa.
Ooh, yeah, like super uncomfortable. Like I couldn't, and they're like I don't know. I think it's like in the script.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm like,
it's
because I'm like, oh, she's an elf. She's probably really old, but I'm like, it's a child.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a baby. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, it was uncomfortable. Now
you got fucking Epstein executive producing this film. Like, I don't understand.
Well, they're really making Santa Claus out to be Weinstein, right? He's Weinstein in the elves.
No, Epstein.
You know what I mean? Epstein in the elves.
Yeah,
you want to get ahead? You want to get ahead of the North Pole? Gonna ride the North Pole,
Special
baby.
Cocoa.
That's my rant.
Add cocoa to fucking Pizzagate. Put that in the emails.
Yeah, Scott Calvin's all over the Epstein files.
After going over these circles for like a couple of minutes, like Fuhr gets back in his combine and he finishes swath in the field, but he comes back. He said that he went back to his parents' farmhouse, or I guess his dad was there, like reading the paper. Mom's at there, like making lunch or whatever, and he kind of just like sat down. But I guess like his mom could kind of tell like something was wrong. Like he was kind of sitting there, and he's like, they kind of asked him like, "What's going on?" And he's like, I don't know. They're like, what do you mean? He's like, it's like, I saw something. And they're like, what'd you see? And then he described like what he had saw. And Fuhr says like his dad kind of immediately said like, well, were they flying saucers? Like not even joking. Just kind of like, just were they flying saucers?
Well,
and
when was Charlie Red Star? Like, is this?
Well, there was something that Fuhr comments like in one of his interviews. He says like
1975 Charlie Red Star. So this is like possibly like, a precursor or even maybe that this had been known around, that kind of weird shit's happening in these areas. And they're kind of like saying like, hey, we've been seeing these things.
Yeah. But like he mentioned that his dad had a magazine about flying saucers from Germany or something.
Yeah. He said that like he had like German newspapers he had been reading about flying saucers.
And we know Germans were making flying saucers.
But here's the thing.
They're still making them. From the Hall of Worth.
They are for sure.
From the Hall of Worth.
Come on. Yeah.
Was he just happened to have these, or did he see something and search out information? And this is what he was like ordering, like, you know what I mean? Like how does one in 1970, this is a genuine question. How did anyone get any information back then? You had fucking mail order
from one of the free channels that you had.
Yeah. Newspapers or news,
and then you just see like an ad for UFO fucking book Germany, and you're like, I'll order that.
I mean, you just ordered magazines.
Or did he go to the library?
Whatever.
Did he go to the library and found that? You know what I mean? Because he saw something, he was interested.
When he said it in the interview that I watched, it was like his dad had been reading like German newspapers, and they had been talking about UFOs. Like, so, I mean, you see UFO flying saucers news stories like kind of all the time.
Listen, I'm starting to get little vibes here. This fucking guy's last name's Fuhr.
Oh,
Nazi sympathizer.
No wonder Dan picked it. The other thing that I saw when I was reading this is one of the readings that I did. When he came in for lunch, everyone was like, "Where have you been?"
Yeah, missing time.
You took way longer. And he's like, what time is it? And it was like an hour later than he was supposed to be back for lunch. And he was like, he kind of was like, and it kind of like brushed over that aspect. And I was like, sounds to me like he fucking lost an hour and was just kind of like, I don't know. And like, didn't really kind of, but I only read that on one of the accounts. The other ones kind of glazed over that.
No, I heard that too.
Yeah. I think he was there like late. That was kind of like what I think the mom like noticed, like, it's like, hey, lunch is at this time. Like, you should have been here like an hour.
They were already done
early.
by the time he got back.
Yeah, it was like an hour, like just over an hour. I think I read that he was late, right? And considering his time frame is 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Like how?
But I wonder if you're fucking shit in your pants, and you know what? Normally it feels like it's longer than it is, though.
It does, so yeah.
Yeah, like high pressure situation.
Yeah.
So I guess Fuhr's like sister overhears like the entire conversation about this, and I guess she has a conversation with Fuhr's brother-in-law Carl Zorn.
Yeah, son of Zorn.
It's a fucking good name, Zorn.
Yeah. I was like,
hold on, Zell, how come we haven't ever fucking adopted that for you?
It's a good question.
Yeah, have you never done that?
Never thought of that. Zell.
Zell.
Anytime someone says Zell,
Zell.
you can throw it out. I just knocked on my computer over there, throwing up the Z.
I guess Zorn got in touch with one of the RCMP constables. At that time, it was a 27-year-old Ron Warrior.
Ron Warrior?
Oh my god,
Warrior.
I don't think
from henceforth.
No,
it's Warrior.
It's Ron Warrior.
Warrior.
Yeah, it's a misprint. The fuck
cousin of Ron.
It's probably Morier.
Morier.
Yeah.
Still like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And then so I guess like he kind of Zorn had a conversation with Morier, and kind of asking him, kind of feeling it out, like, hey, my brother-in-law like saw something weird. Like, do you guys like handle that? Because he wasn't really sure like who kind of investigated these things at the time. Really,
small town shit like this. Like, how big's Langenberg? I hold on,
not that big.
Let me tell you right now.
If not, it's like they have like one police officer. They have two police officers, I think.
Nation 1974. Dude, 1,000 people. So it's like they knew the cops. You know, you knew. This guy was like, "Hey, Morier!" Probably waved him down at the fucking coffee shop. Hey, let me just run something by you.
So I think because Morier is saying like 1,000 people. There's like 3 police officers for the whole thing, and they were talking about how the police were pretty much the go-to for anything. There was an interesting comment in one of the articles about Morier talking about. He's like, this was golden. They provided gold-plated policing, which was like meant that like no job was too small. So your cat's stuck in a tree. You call the police.
Ghosts. They come and exorcise those demons.
Everybody, like police are there for everything. It's just like that's what.
It's funny because now the RCMP, they're like, did they kill anyone?
Yeah. Same way.
No, and then,
are you watching somebody die right now?
Yeah.
Are they already dead? We're not coming.
Well, how much money did they steal? It's under $2,000.
Let them go. Yeah. They're just stealing cheese?
So, but I mean, like you said, like they knew the police and everybody knew everybody. So I think Morier was kind of inclined to believe Zorn's story about what
the guy coming to the last name Zorn, they got a little bit of credibility right there.
Well, and you probably know, and honestly, 1,000 people, you probably know the fucking kooks. You know what I mean? So it's like when someone like 100%. Kind of a stand-up person comes and you're like, says like, hey, like, and you can catch a vibe from someone when they come and like, talking with them, and you're just like, you would probably get some sort of like gut feeling. You're like, all right, something's up. What, like, this is weird.
Yeah, well,
And I mean,
wait a second. This guy doesn't even have a lazy eye.
Yeah.
You're
like, what else am I going to do? Am I going to go fucking shuck corn for Miss Wilson down there?
So yeah, but no, it's like they all knew each other, and like Zorn kind of vouched for being like, yeah, like he's not a person who would make up this. Like I guess he was like a teetotaler, so he's like he didn't drink. Like he wasn't a drinker. Like he was.
What's a
more
teetotaler?
Like, it's like a person who doesn't drink, right?
That's a fucking name for that?
Yeah, I thought that was. I'm pretty sure.
Is that like universally known? You just make that up?
No, I'm not making TEETO.
Like tea, like tea that you.
No, it's like
TEE.
Yeah, like golf tea, like teetotaler.
It's like a teetotaler.
Yeah, toaler. TOA.
Teetotaler.
Teetotaler.
Totaler.
Yeah.
Teetotaler.
Totaling tea.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Gay? How do you make any friends?
Because teetotalism is the practice or promotion of total personal abstinence from the consumption of alcohol.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
I wonder if that counts if you hoop it.
Oh, there's workarounds.
Teetotalers are hooping for sure.
Past the lips.
There's always loopholes.
Mormon style. It's not, you don't lose your virginity if it's anal, right?
Nah.
One of those ones.
If you're not moving, if it's soaking, was the thing.
Oh, yeah.
No, I remember I heard the one where it's like they do it now where they go on the top bunk and their friends shake the bed from underneath.
They don't move. They don't thrust.
Yeah, that's soaking. That's what they called it. Soaking. Fucking wish I never learned that.
What? I
should never fucking.
Because it's soak a cork, right? Like so.
I'm not doing anything.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just laying there.
I'm just laying there.
I just slipped and fell in. Like I don't know.
And
like,
fell.
Yeah.
You're not moving.
My buddy was under
Imagine
the
the
bed.
shock when one of them ends up pregnant too. They're like, "What doesn't even make sense?"
Yeah,
what the fuck?
I was just soaking.
Yeah,
I was having a soak.
yeah.
That'd be the best Mari episode.
Who's
Mari?
child is it?
Yeah, I can't. It can't be me. I was just having a soak, Mari.
So the very next day, I guess Maurier went out there to check out these markings in Fur's field, and they were still there. And he couldn't tell him like what exactly made these, but there were definite impressions on the grass that weren't supposed to be there, or they weren't sure what made these things. These just like giant, because there's pictures of them too, like these giant, like very crop circle-y.
They're crop circles.
Impressions.
They're crop circles.
They're crop circle. Yeah. It's like another way to describe them. It's like if you just look at them, you're like, yeah, that's a crop circle right there. Something looks like it pushed that grass down, and
was there pictures of these crop circles?
Yeah. And I saw them in the newspaper clipping.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And they have like three of them, definite three of them, like all together. And then I guess there was some
5 crafts altogether.
Yeah, he said there were like 3 kind of in the middle, and then there was like 2 farther out to the sides. But like those 3, like you'll see the picture of the one.
We got a good look at those ones on the sides.
Oh yeah, I'll pull up this one.
I'm looking at them right now.
I'm sharing them.
Now they don't have that like the hard like crop circle edge. That perfect circle. They are more like blown down grass.
It's still interesting though that like if you look in the background and stuff, you can see there's like you can see the circles like in this area. Like,
is this where Doug and Dave started?
They're trying testing out little ones.
These ones look. These ones.
Look at that one there.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, they're trampled down. Something knocked it down. Interesting.
Don't like livestock and shit do that weird loop too?
I mean, this looks like trampled grass. This looks like
doing a circle pit.
Yeah, it looks like trampled.
Well, no,
a circle pit. Let's go.
But it's because I've seen videos of like I don't know what it's called, like ants do it too, like a death loop.
Yeah. It's usually like a defensive thing. Is what I understand. Like it's to confuse predators.
I go anywhere and there's a set of goats doing a circle pit. I'm getting the fuck out of there. We just opened the gates of hell.
Yeah, I've only seen this once before.
So actually, you know what? We can talk about a little bit more about these circles after we take a break. Probably a good place.
Let's get another beer.
Beer break. Be right back.
Why are so many dogs suffering from health issues? Actress Katherine Heigl, who's helped save over 16,000 dogs through her foundation, says she's seeing more issues with dogs' joints, odors, and health than ever before. And after doing a ton of research, she feels there's one place we can look to support any dog's health: their food. So she decided to create something she could actually feel good about feeding her dogs. It's called Superfood Complete. Superfood Complete is made with over 30 of the healthiest ingredients on the planet, including several superfoods vital to your dog's health. Badlands Ranch also sponsors the Jason Debus Heigl Foundation, which has helped rescue thousands of dogs and place them in loving homes. Dogs across America are trying this food and experiencing amazing health benefits. Go to badlandsranch.com/save50 and order right now to get up to 50% off your regular price order with a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you want your dog to experience all these incredible things, go to BADLANDS ranch.com/save50 today.
President Carter's coming back 4 more years.
Back to UFOs. Back to UFOs. Jimmy Carter.
We had a heated debate on the break on what we think should happen.
Yeah,
we all decided Jimmy Carter's coming back 4 more years. Surprise!
98 years old.
Listen, Harris is about to drop out. We all know this. And who's going to take her spot? Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter.
He's the next guy,
luckily
right?
we don't have to vote in the person that's coming in, right?
No.
Luckily, you guys don't have to vote
there's
at
no
all.
Primary. Put him in.
I got my ballot right here, Dan.
Situation.
Yeah.
You can mail him in, can't you?
We told us, why did our government send us these mail-in ballots for them?
Well, there's only one box to check too.
So as you can imagine, in a town of less than 1,000 people, probably at the time, the crop circles made a bit of a splash, in the news rounds, I guess.
Dude, these small towns, first off, fucking news, they got nothing better to do. Absolutely nothing better to do. These kind of communities fucking live on gossip. Like gossip and fucking, did you hear? Like that's how the community, that's the economy in these small.
Yeah. So, but this is where we get like the descriptions of like the circles and stuff from the local newspapers and stuff. So they're saying that these circles were what they said were like approximately, the flattened portion of the circles were approximately like 18 inches, and the total diameter of the 2 circles was like 12 feet. And then the other 3, they said, were about 10 and a half feet. But like when they went over to look at this thing, like it was obvious that there was a lack of any type of what could be like vehicle tracks, anything. Like there was no evidence that someone had driven out there to make these circles, like they had taken a vehicle out there, a truck or something out there, or
except the combine
to follow the vehicle to fucking cover up the tracks.
Except the giant combine that he fucking admitted to driving out there.
But besides those ones,
I think you would see. Well, could you drive in the tire marks? I don't know enough about farm equipment. I've only played Farm Simulator a couple times.
Farmville,
yeah, Farmville, yeah. So. Stuff.
Well, I mean, there's so many different sizes of like farm tractors and combines, and like some of them are the size of fucking a small house. Like they're huge.
Yeah. And some of them are like not so big, I guess.
Well, you get your little John Deere, like ride-on lawnmower. That's kind of a tractor. You could put a little blade on the front or a little bucket on the back.
Yeah.
You're farming, bud.
Farming. Picking up sticks, putting them in the back, dump them on the other side of the yard, farming.
Yeah.
Once the story took off in the local newspapers and probably like everywhere else, what they were reporting just slow news day, and they're like UFOs in Langenburg, Saskatchewan. They had like floods of people, coming to mud flood. To Fuhr's farm.
I think if you think about it, that's 100% what would happen. Everyone's stomping around the crops there, looking for these circles. You have 100% mud flood.
Mud flood.
Yeah, mud flood.
Yeah. Mud flood.
Fuhr was saying that they were having cars like lined up outside the field, like bumper to bumper, people parked out there, coming to see the circles that were put there. And this is the
most inopportune
for the circles,
100 years.
Stay for the mud flood.
Yeah. They're like, where are they? They're like, cover one eye, you'll see them perfect.
It was probably the most inopportune time for, having visitors to your farm, since it was, just around
crop
harvest
season,
time.
baby.
Yeah,
harvest. It's not time for fucking corn mazes.
Yeah, it was like getting in the way of these people's livelihood. Like they were not happy about the people like showing up here like at all hours of the night, just kind of getting phone calls. From UFO investigators.
Like he was pissed. He wanted nothing to do with these guys. That's what I like about it.
He was saying at one point they were like running out into the fields. Like he was in there, like, he would be in the combine like thing, and they would be running up like beside the combine, like trying to get his attention to either show him or like, where he would trying to get them to lead them to where the circles were.
The worst part is, he knows everyone, and he's just like, yeah, fuck, I hate all these people.
Well, no, there's a bunch of tourists though, man. There's people coming in from Australia.
From far away. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He said they had a plane of carrying Australian tourists who wanted to actually like landed in the field in the adjacent like farm in a plane, like came down, like landed to come take a look or something like that. I was just like, what? You got planes flying over your combine. You got people running around like all over. They're gonna get sucked up into that thing. That's what I was always worried about. Like
into the combine.
Yeah, just getting fucking chopped up. I was like, imagine. I'm just like surprised nobody got injured.
You know how many fucking small animals get destroyed by combines? It's insane.
Man. It's terrifying.
And you call and people call themselves like, I'm a vegetarian, I'm a vegan, I'm plant based. I don't harm animals. Like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Indirectly, but you do.
Your veggies are soaked in blood.
So there's a threshold of blood and guts that can be included in your fucking salad.
Not only that, those vegetables scream when you kill them.
Sure, they release all those fucking toxins and shit.
Yeah, we just can't hear it.
Yeah. Cut grass, that's a fucking defense mechanism. That's why it smells like that.
Yeah. Smells good.
Does smell good.
Yeah. That's a shitty defense mechanism.
That's why we're apex predators. We love it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to roll around.
We love it. Yeah. Roll around, get all itchy.
That's good. Yeah. Worth it.
Please don't cut me or don't hurt me anymore.
So pretty much at the end of his rope with these tourists, Fuhr's father actually ended up just like, he said, fuck it, and just set the grass surrounding that slough on fire.
Perfect.
Lit it on fire. He's like, fuck it. I'm tired of this shit. Just set it on fire so they could get their shit done. But apparently didn't help that much because you could still see the markings, even though he burned them up, that they were still there.
They burned in
Like,
a circle.
no! God damn it.
Why? I was kind of wondered where it's like, and I know nothing about farming, but like, I wonder if it had something to do with like, I wonder if like part of me, my brain went to like, are they lying about their crops? Are they lying about like what they're doing? And they're just like, we don't need all these eyes out here. You know what I mean? Like,
well, what do you mean? Like fucking growing weed? Like,
no. Even if just like, I don't know, like, I just don't know how farming works. Like if you have to report to the government, like how much you're doing this, or they selling stuff on the side, like, and they just like,
buddy, black market canola.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
right.
That's the good shit.
That's the fucking.
And they're just like, hey, listen, we don't need all these eyes out here.
And so, yeah, so
the only eyes we want around here are
crooked, cross-eyed.
We don't want none of these other ones.
Yeah. We got too many. We got too many straight lookers walking around here.
Fuhr also recalls like getting phone calls at all hours of the day and night from all over the world, apparently. And one of the most notable ones that he said is that he fielded a call from Neil Armstrong himself.
Oh, that's right. I forgot I read this.
Apparently, Fuhr said he had a 2-hour conversation with Neil Armstrong, or somebody claiming to be Neil Armstrong.
And he told him the Earth was indeed flat, and he had seen it firsthand.
Well, he told him that the UFOs are real, and that astronauts see a lot of these things
they do.
out there. Yeah,
he told him on the moon that he saw them. He saw ships when they landed in the fucking crater
on the moon.
Yeah, and they watched him.
Like, wasn't there already some type of fucking conspiracy about like there being like cut off? They cut some of the transmissions
for sure. 3 minutes.
He said, and he's like, he said he saw something.
They used to call it. They called it. I think they called it a bogey or a Santa Claus. Houston, we got a bogey. Houston, we got a Santa Claus, and that's their way of saying it was an alien. So goes the story.
Wow. I just see something that you don't know what it is.
Unidentified. It's an alien, Dan. This is how it works. We know this is how it works.
What else is flying around the moon at that time?
Yeah.
Aliens.
I mean, there wasn't fucking rogue Teslas flying around back then.
It wasn't a fucking spaceman strapped to a Tesla Model X or whatever. It's fucking flying around. If you believe that bullshit.
So, I think Fuhr says he never really turned away people calling. Like he always just kind of he always accepted that people were just interested in what was going on in this farm. So he just always kind of fielded these phone calls. But yeah, he's he claims that he talked to the first man on the moon about this. And but yeah, it's one of those weird things that it never really nobody really came forward. Like we didn't get a Doug and Dave coming forward and saying that, no, we were kind of goofing with, joking on Edwin or anything, or making these crop circles. Still went ahead and just is still unsolved to this day about what actually happened there.
Yeah, I think they found out real quick when they saw Papa Fuhr burn down the fucking all their crops. They're like, listen, this guy finds out we fucked him, he's gonna burn down our house.
We caused this. All these people come here, we're gonna die.
Yeah, fuck that.
But I guess Fuhr's still doing I guess they live a quiet life still in Langenburg, and he's retired from farming. Well, yeah. I guess he ran a landscaping and snowblowing business from like 1989 or something. And yeah, that was pretty much. And he does, I guess he does carpentry in his spare time.
Well, not anymore.
He's like
89 or some shit dead now.
I mean,
he's
listen,
alive.
He could be president.
He could still be doing.
He could run for president.
He could still be
prime minister.
Yeah.
Hey, anyone can run for prime minister. You don't have to be born here.
That's true.
You just have to become a citizen. Dan, you could be Canadian Prime Minister. We could support. We could endorse you. Then you can get your citizenship.
First thing I'm taking care of is the goose problem.
You would win. That's how you win in Canada. Actually, you win for sure.
You know what's funny? You know what's so funny? All the people that talk shit about Dan being a Democrat, who fucking roast Dan all the time. If Dan came to Canada and actually ran a political party, he'd probably be perfect. He'd probably be the perfect center between our two parties right now, which are both left leaning. No, he's not quite conservative, because I feel like Dan, he wouldn't rape the rivers and lakes.
No, I'd still like to keep stuff clean.
See, I like this sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, pretty good. To be fair, and Paul Revere does wear blue jeans.
That's true. Dan, I've never seen Dan wear blue jeans.
No, I wear chinos.
Are you a blue collar guy, Dan?
No, he's a chino. He's not a blue collar guy. He doesn't know the plight of the average Canadian. Fucking fending off gooses.
Do you listen to Jimmy Barnes' Working Class Man?
Regularly? I hear a lot of this. I hear a little.
In God and Jesus.
I hear a lot of this. I'm going to solve
listen
the
to Foreigner's Dirty White Boy, but I don't know.
That's a good tune.
Listen, if anyone's in a small town, that song slays at the Legion. If at karaoke, usually because the
Working Class Man?
Dirty White Boy. Guaranteed. You go to any small town Legion, like the ratio of dirty white boys to native population, it's skewered. So when you sing that, the whole crowd goes wild. It's awesome. All these people coming up to you, you're like, dirty white boy. You're like,
I found this one interesting because it does sit in that, when the crop circle phenomenon was kind of like in its prime, like 70s, like late 70s, late or mid to late 70s, and then like in the 80s, you had this kind of stuff going on. And like we said, like 1966 was kind of like the first, like I think it was the Tully's saucer nest in Australia.
Yep.
That was one of the first ones. And then you had like the really big ones that everyone really remembers and all the pictures of are the ones that happened in 1980, like in Wiltshire, England, is those are the ones that you get. And I still find crop circles interesting because, you still have claims like they're still going on. I'm always really skeptical of the ones that are like, they show you the pictures on Ancient Aliens and stuff like that of like the ones that are like super intricate and all this. I'm like, no, that's for a festival or something. That's somebody made that one. But I'm more inclined to believe ones that are just kind of like these ones where it's like something landed there. Like it's something pushed that grass down.
For no particular reason.
We're September 1st, 1974. We're 6 months away from the, Manitoba's famous Charlie Red Star kicking off
for a beer run.
You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. So it's like, there's a good chance that this, like, whatever this is might be just migrating in that area. The other interesting thing is because we talked about that one, was it last week where with the campers saw the 60-foot waterfall?
No,
that was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. It was like 2 weeks ago.
And just seeing these things like hovering over, like, I know it wasn't like a really big body of water or anything, but again,
mud puddle.
But water, right? Like the one source of water. So it was kind of, again, I was kind of like, man, do these things need?
Do we qualify as a body of water? It's a fucking puddle.
It's a mud flood. It's a mud flood.
Right? But are they? But why there? Like, why not anywhere else? Like, why congregate near that water? Is there something to do with the water?
Yeah. But you were talking about how like these things like absorb energy, and it's like, well, they didn't take off until his combine died. So it's like maybe they were just like absorbing electricity, and then when his combine got there, they hit their limit, and that gave them enough juice to take off.
Do you think they separate? Do you think maybe they separate the hydrogen from the water? Like right there, is that something they could be doing? Is like pulling water into the crafts and separating the hydrogen?
No, I don't think that, because they already got to fucking Earth. Like, you think they're capable of traveling that far and then being like, oh fuck, we better find a mud puddle. We better find ourselves a motherfucking mud puddle, or else we are in trouble.
Boys, we gotta find some mud.
Every technology has
find
a
us
weak point.
Puddle.
Yeah.
No, they just need to come and they were coming down here to get some high quality canola oil.
But it's different.
Like, they're coming here and they're like, yeah, you guys hear about these fucking lazy eyes? It's fucked. Right? You're not gonna.
They're like, in the future, we're listening to alien theorists theorizing. This guy talked about come to Saskatchewan, everyone's got cross eyes, and we're gonna go back and check. But maybe the terrestrial travel and how they travel terrestrial is different, like in Earth's atmosphere than they do interstellar, right? Like maybe they have a different mode of travel for that kind of speed.
Well, it really depends on the craft, how it's built, and if there is actually occupants, because if you had an interstellar craft that could traverse space at, let's just say it's at light speed, which is not really fast enough to really make it across in a reasonable time. Unless you're like just the next star over and you're going to get here in 3 or 4 years. So the craft has to withstand space, but really just microparticles in space. But if you're traveling in atmosphere and all the friction with air and everything, so it's like a way different environment.
Yeah.
So like, unless the craft makes some type of field, like anti-gravity field, and it's actually not traveling through space with propulsion, but it's like being pulled through gravity-wise. And if that's the case, then no friction or any type of inertia will affect the craft. Or is it an interdimensional craft where it just like fucking makes a little wormhole and tunnels its way here? And if that's the case, then it's not really made for maybe like high-speed travel. And when it gets to Earth, it is susceptible to like lightning storms. And that's why you get some that crash. So they get here, they get through a wormhole, which is like whatever, some crazy technology, but you don't need this very advanced like shell, let's say. And then all of a sudden there's a massive lightning storm. You get hit by lightning and you crash and fall out of the sky. And that's why we're like, these guys can get across the fucking galaxy, and then they crash land. They get to Earth for a quick lightning storm.
Even, I wonder if like even static, like you get some sort of static charge like as you're coming in. The other thing I wanted to mention is that one of the readings that I did, how he described how these crafts took off, it wasn't that they just zipped off, and this was just one, but I thought it was kind of interesting. He said they drifted away, like one took off and just drifted, and then the other drifted, and then like individually, and then they got to a certain point and it was like boom, 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 gone. Just they all shot off, but they like drifted like, I'm gonna say it, China lanterns until getting to a certain point in the sky. I kind of thought that was an interesting description, just because you see a lot, like, I mean, fuck, our feed is full of like UFO videos. If you see these like orange lights that drift together and then they just kind of fade out, and I was just like, oh, it's kind of an interesting like that they would just slowly rise and do that until they got to a certain altitude before they started taking off. I just thought that was an interesting description. Kind of stuck with me. Again, the water, like you said, you make a good point. Why come here and fuck? We need to find the mud.
Mud flood.
Right?
They're not even from here. They're the Tartarians. They've been here the whole time. They're coming from beyond the wall, beyond the ice wall. They're not even coming through space. Just coming over the wall.
What is it, ice walk?
I've seen an updated flat Earth map. Like
I like it.
The updated map, which is the endless plane. I mean, it's just one giant.
Yeah, I like that. I can get on board with the endless plane.
Endless plane. This is worlds and worlds and worlds, but the atmosphere is the same over all these worlds and different little suns. That's better.
Yeah, it's like a Minecraft world.
There is no space. It's just one giant place. And everything we've ever made or creatively made, like different universes and stuff, or no. Those have been sprinkled to us through the powers that be, Agartha and all these other different realms.
Mordor.
Lemuria.
Holy fuck.
Castle Grayskull.
Zell's been doing a deep dive.
Cybertron.
I'm changing. I'm a flat earther.
I love it.
Fuck space.
I support it.
Fuck space. All right? That's bullshit. Well,
it's not even real.
Not even real.
And I like it because they have Midgard and stuff, and they account for all these fucking myths and stuff and legends and like ancient Greece and Mount Olympus. These are all real places beyond the ice wall where there's dragons and stuff. And I can get on board with that. I'm
Masters of the Universe,
everything.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Going.
And just somehow we just can't get there. We can't get over the wall for whatever reason. We just can't get there.
The government doesn't want us
down.
to.
Right.
They somehow control all
if there's
that
dragons
space
over there, it's probably a good idea that we're not going over
there.
It's for our own. You know, it's for our safety.
No, you have to go get the dragons to take care of the grizzly bears.
Dan, we can't even deal with the geese.
Yeah,
that's why you get the dragons.
One step.
No, you get the bears to get the geese, and then the dragons to take care of the bears.
There we go. See, we're working on it.
Okay, but then what do we do with the dragons?
Then you get the.
That's a tomorrow.
This is why you'll never be prime minister. Dan.
What's bigger than dragons?
That's the next administration's problem.
Yeah,
that's not my problem. I came up with the idea for the dragons. Somebody else can take the other problem.
Dan's gonna be like, I'll solve the dragons. You vote me in.
Dan, in Canada, there is no term limit. You could be prime minister forever until you die.
Forever.
Yeah. So the dragons will just be a problem until I'm out of office.
You'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll burn that bridge when we get there.
It'd be a good voting point. Like, listen, these dragons have been running wild. You vote me in, I'll solve.
Take care of these dragons.
Like,
I brought them in. I'll take them out.
Think we could get Dennis Quaid, Sean Connery, Dragonheart.
Oh, yeah.
No, you have to get Matt. No, you got to get
McConaughey.
McConaughey and Bale.
Ring of Fire.
Bale. No.
Oh yeah.
But Dragonheart was dope. Come on.
Dragonheart was dope.
Yeah, I like
Talking Dragons.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, there's like 4 of those movies now. I think there's like 4 Dragonheart movies.
Dragonheart?
Yeah, there's a couple. There's 3 like direct.
I only seen one Dragonheart. To me, there's only
like
one.
3 Dragonheart.
Yeah,
I think there's
Dennis Quaid, right?
Yeah.
Is it Dennis Quaid?
I don't know. It's fucking 20 years ago.
He's the knight. Yeah, Dennis Quaid.
He's the knight errant.
Yeah, his name's Bowen, like my son.
Is that who you named your son after?
After Dennis
Wasn't
Quaid.
Dennis Quaid just on Joe Rogan?
It's Quaid's character.
Did I see that?
He was.
Was he?
Did I see his name pop up?
Yeah.
What did he have to say?
Big Republican.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, he loves Trump.
Well, hey, Randy Quaid's fucking.
Wait, I thought Dennis Quaid was Canadian. He's not Canadian?
No, Randy Quaid came to Canada. He's like, the CIA's trying to kill me. I'm seeking asylum.
No, that's what.
And they're like, who? He's like, I killed the aliens in Independence Day. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure.
You can help us.
Yeah. He's our secret weapon. We'll use him to get rid of the dragons.
Help us with the bears or the dragons.
Yeah.
Or even the geese.
Take your pick.
Yeah.
Start at the geese, work your way up.
Anyways, it's a pretty cool UFO case, actually. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It's a fun little one.
No one's benefiting. There's no book tour. It's just some fucking,
He's got some pretty good solid interviews. Like the story, you can watch the interview like from the, like 70s, like 80s. He's have interviews with them, and then you can, it's like
he's cracking.
His interviews are pretty. Yeah, his interviews are pretty fun to watch. Like, but it's the same story. Like the story stayed the same the entire time, so he hasn't really changed it. So
no, I dig it because he's also not like they came to my fucking sloth or whatever the fuck I called it.
Yeah.
Because I'm special and I'm chosen, and they've been seeing me since I was a little kid because I got the eye of the tiger and I'm fucking magical.
Yeah.
Like every other one of those fucking
put something in my eye to make it go this way.
I'm just looking. Randy Quaid looks like he could fucking live in Saskatchewan from Independence Day.
Oh yeah,
Randy.
the shitter's full, buddy.
Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, his eyes are fucking starting to drift a bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's from fucking Heart. That's like he's got the Shawn Michaels effect, but with drugs.
Wait, was Randy?
You do enough drugs,
Randy Quaid?
you get a lazy eye.
That was Randy Quaid was in the Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's a fucking.
He's got crazy eyes in that movie.
Cousin fucking.
That's probably where I know him from the most. Is the National
Independence
Lampoon's-
Day. He fucking.
I didn't really
kills
know
the first
Randy Quaid.
ship.
I guess I know.
Well, I know
Dennis
that
Quaid.
too. Yeah,
Dennis
he's
Quaid, I knew,
amazing.
but Randy Quaid, I knew the name, but I didn't even really know what he looks like.
Huge conspiracy guy.
Was he in Not Another Teen movie? Was he the dad in Not Another Teen movie?
Yes, he was. He was the dad. Yeah. That's
Dennis
right.
Quaid is making a movie called Reagan.
Yeah, he is Ronald Reagan.
Oh, he's Blaine Ronald Reagan? Oh, shit.
Fantastic.
I got to listen to the interview, I guess. I just seen that his name was on there. There you go. Reagan. Just like a cowboy. Was Reagan a cowboy? I thought he was a movie star.
He was a movie star who played a cowboy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had a ranch.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. I'm learning a lot today.
Yep. It all comes back to Reagan.
I'll start with Reagan.
Reaganomics,
Trickle
baby.
down. Anyways, that was fun. This week, we're going to give, it's a twofer. The Theory of the Week and the only Patreon supporter.
Oh, nice.
Is Aaron
the Catilla.
Randhawa. One and done. Fucking legend.
Let's go.
Boom. Nailed it. Timed it just right.
Just right.
I think this is super important that everyone knows this, but did you know that Randy and Dennis have a sister named Brandy Quaid?
Did not.
So there's a Randy and Brandy Quaid.
Randy Quaid. If you search Brandy Quaid, she comes up as just Randy Quaid's sister. There's no way that's her.
Hold on. Did you see the picture? Do you see the picture of the face mash of like Brandy, the hip hop singer, and Brandy Quaid?
I'm looking at it right now.
Picture? That's fucking amazing.
Oh fuck! Where is this? Internet's too good. Everything's on there.
Yeah. I love it.
Hell yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Fun.
Why?
Anyways, if you want to be like Aaron Randhawa, you got to go to alientheorist.com. Hit that support tab. You know what?
Yeah, help
we're pushing. We're pushing Supercast because Patreon in a couple months in November is going to.
And it's not Patreon's fault.
It's not Patreon. It's Apple.
It's Apple's fault.
Apple's taking a cut of us, not of Patreon.
Tim Apple. Goddamn Tim
If you
Apple.
want to sign up for the show, go to alientheorist.com. You go to Supercast. There's two tabs. There's the Patreon, Supercast. Supercast is not an app. It just gives you your own private podcast feed on whatever app you use already. Regular fees, regular everything, not 30% like Apple's trying to just steal from us. So
it's insane.
It's 30%. A lot.
Insane.
A lot.
It's a lot.
I mean, it's not as bad as Amazon stealing 50% of Twitch subscriptions, but that's insane. On Twitch, if you subscribe to someone on Twitch, Bezos takes 50%. Snap right off the top.
Yeah, well, what Bezos isn't going to fucking make himself
how's he going to get his third super yacht or something? Super mega yacht.
I mean, I'm fine with like platforms who have to they got servers and they got costs. You got to take a cut. It's fine. 30% is insane, especially Apple, who's just providing the App Store. They're not doing nothing else.
You know what the other craziest shit I just remembered that I was going to bring up at the beginning of the show, but I'll talk about in after hours, that amidst all this Boeing shit going on, they've stranded 2 people in space.
Yep, they've stranded. They're stranded.
We stranded them. And, dude, it's insane. Anyways, you want to get on after hours, fucking Patreon, or Supercast, support the boys, get more stuff.
Well, you can sign up on Patreon until November. After that, then it's 30%. If you're in before then, no charge. After that, you're screwed. Or we're screwed, I guess.
Yeah.
You'll pay the same.
And as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies.
See you in after hours.